Hi, this is James from the Hornbill Technical Support team, and this is a short tutorial to show you how to configure operator scripts. So here we're using the 750 Service Pack 3 client, and we're using this with ITSM 3414. And please bear in mind that for operator scripts, these are available on all versions of application. However, these can also be used with the self-service configurations as well on the older versions of ITSM. So I'll go through that as we go through the actual configuration. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just go into the administration menu and then manage operator scripts. So we'll see we've got an empty box here, so we can actually configure as many scripts as we like. And basically what operator scripts are basically a set list of questions. So bear in mind that you can, when you log a call, you select a profile, and when you select a profile you can have a list of questions based on that profile. So that when you fill in each individual question, so this can easily be maybe even reminders to check certain information while you're taking the call, or maybe you can type in certain information and populate to a different field, but we'll go through the options as we do the actual creation. So I'm going to click on new, I'm just going to give it a name and a title, and the default data field usually is always updatedb.updateText. So I'm just going to save that, go into the questions. So this is very similar to the self-service wizards in a way that is simply a list of questions, and you can jump to other questions based on your answers as well. So I'm just going to add in a few simple questions, maybe an announcement to begin with, to say with an introduction, so you can see it pops up there. You can write anything you like at that point. Now let's add another one to say information entry for a text input. So maybe let's say, what is the name of the new starter? So let's say you were taking this over the phone and you want to get a name of a new starter. Maybe let's make that mandatory. And let's add in another one for, let's try something else like a drop down list or a yes or no. So let's type in a question. Have you checked the ID of the new starter? So you can actually change the choices here. It doesn't have to be yes and no, and you can also add and remove as much as you like there. So I'm going to keep the yes and no for that particular one. Maybe let's make that mandatory as well. Let's add in another one. What else have we got here? We've got some radio buttons, so true or false, or again you can change the actual name of the items here or add your own. So let's go for has the new starter been through induction? I'll stick with true or false, but you obviously get the idea of the choices there. So we can also do another one of an option that you can actually populate a different actual field or a column. So let's do a single line entry here. Let's say I want to populate the summary instead of putting it into the call diary or the first entry of the call. So I'm going to type in here the open call.itsm title, but obviously you can choose any particular field that you wish at that stage. So I'm going to just click on save there, and that's it in terms of the actual setup of the wizards. There's not too many other options in terms of going in between them, but it's a simple list of questions that you can associate to a profile. So let's actually close that down and close that here. You can export and import from different servers as well, so which is quite handy. Next thing what we're going to do is we're just going to associate that to a profile. So if we go into administration and then manage call profiles, within test here, so I've just highlighted that, I'm going to choose a script for test script. I'm going to tick the box to say force execution of that script. So that means as soon as you select the test profile, it's going to run this particular test operator script which we've already created. So let's open a new incident and then choose the test profile. We'll then see, there we go. So it's popped up with our test script. So I'm going to click on next to continue, enter maybe the name of the new starter. Let's write anything down. Fred. It's going to say have you checked the ID of the new starter, so this thing comes with our drop down box. Have they been through induction? Provide a summary. So as this was the last question, it's going to come up with finish. And there we go. So you can see it's exactly the same as like the self-service wizards in a way that it will populate the main details if you haven't specified a target data field, and it will populate the summary if you've obviously chosen to populate the ITSM title, but again you can populate any particular field that you wish at that particular time. So that's quite handy if you want to make sure that you get all the relevant information and go through like pre-checks before you actually log the call, which is quite handy. So that's all on operator scripts. Bear in mind that in the previous versions of ITSM, you can actually, instead of associating the actual self-service wizards to services, you had the option to associate a operator script. So that's why they're very, very similar in terms of the setup. But that's all. If you have any questions on that, please let us know.